2, 1. Hello, everybody. We are again with Sarva Education, and I'm so thrilled because now we are with Pete and Dani or Danielle. And I know you have a lot about education around the world to share with everybody with the marathon. So thank you for your time. Thank you for joining this big, crazy, quote, quote, marathon. And do you want to present yourself? Who wants to start?
Thank you, Naomi. Yeah, and
thank
you for inviting us today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. So I guess my name's Pete. I'm one of the co-founders of Sarva. Sarva is an online peer-led, mentor-assisted, the world's first peer-led, mentor-assisted learning community, where our goal is to turn learners into leaders. So we're creating the entrepreneurs, the leaders, and the change makers for the future.
And when did you start?
So we started. We only talked about this the other day. So we started at the end of May.
May this year, 2020.
So very, very short period of time, and we're just getting ready. We go into our beta launch next week.
Wow!
We start to open doors to the community. From next week onwards.
Beautiful. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, my name's Daniel. I am the second co-founder. Pete and I, we've been working together for many years in different aspects, but Sarva was officially birthed in May this year. But it's not just Pete and myself. We actually have 9 founders in the business, which is quite unusual. But the magic is that 6 of those founders are actually children between the age of 7 and 20. And when Pete said we're the world's first peer-led, mentor-assisted learning community to develop the leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers for tomorrow, then this is really what I believe is unique about what we've done. Pete and I have been in online education for many years, for over a decade, but mainly educating grown-ups in further business development, teaching them marketing. But we believe that the current world situation demands for a new type of education. We're clear that scholastic and parental education is not alone. We want to add 2 aspects to education, which is peer-led. That means kids teach kids. And we're amazed, the more we look into it, the more we find amazing young people, children who show genius talent, genius skills, genius ability, and inspire other kids to aim higher, do more. But this is not about performance of trying to be some super kid, but just to allowing what's naturally inside, the creativity, the curiosity, to let that shine and give it space. And the second thing we want to bring, so peer-led is this wonderful ingredient, and then we want to bring in the mentor-assisted learning. We've been very blessed to, been introduced to many amazing mentors from around the world, experts in industries that have been 30, 40 years of experience, who all want to assist to make sure that the kids get the real best education possible. So schools, yes. Parents, yes. You're all called to step in, but we believe it takes all of us to create that new environment. So peer-led education assisted by world-class mentorship. And we're very keen to what we call is preserve the genius. Sadly, many children early on lose the connection with their inbuilt abilities through education, sadly, through how it's currently run. And our goal is to preserve their genius into adulthood, or where necessary, reconnect children with their genius. And we're using age-old wisdom, ancient wisdom, and the latest breakthroughs from neuroscience, neuroplasticity, and all the beautiful things. So we were very, very excited. Pete said as well, we're launching next week. We're going to beta launch next week. It's a community, so it's not an online school. It's about coming together, inspiring each other, and having mentors guide that. So yes, that's us, that's Sarva. Sarva means, by the way, it's a Sanskrit word from the ancient language Sanskrit, and it means complete or whole or all-encompassing. And we want to be that. We want to be a whole education for the whole of the human being, a full spectrum human, as we like to call it.
Beautiful. So let me see if I understood well. 2 pillars on the top of parents and school and all that. Kids teach kids. You say KTK, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's,
You could say KTK. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
KTK,
I
I
love
like,
it.
yeah.
And then mentors. What do you mean by mentors, or do you want to help us with this bit?
So mentor assisted,
Second field.
essentially by mentor assisted, what we mean is we're taking adults who have years of experience in a particular field, and we're presenting these kind of teaching, these learnings through those, but through the eyes of the child. So it's always the learning and the lessons are always delivered through the eyes of our young learners. So our 6 founders, co-founders, will always be the lead. They're the interaction. So essentially what they're doing is they're taking these lessons that the mentors are delivering, and they're interpreting it and engaging with their peers to make sure that it's understood and interpreted in the right way. Because all too often what happens in traditional education is it's a teacher who's disconnected from the age group, from the generation that they're trying to educate. They're disconnected from them, and all they do is stand at the front of a classroom and talk at them. Yeah, and this isn't the way to learn anymore. The way to learn is through interaction, is through engagement, is through active learning, not passive learning anymore. The days of passive learning, rows of classes with the teacher stood on, writing on the blackboard, those are gone. The generation.
It's gone. That's over.
Yeah,
It's finished.
yeah. Gen Z and Gen Alpha are already through some of the research that we've seen already demonstrating a far higher aptitude, not just for technology, but also a greater awareness of social issues, a greater compassion for humanity. And so they need to learn in a different way. And that's why we want everything that they engage with to come through the eyes of a child, the eyes of a peer, because it builds that engagement and it encourages them to create these feedback loops that become super important in allowing us to retain information and to learn and to grow from
Definitely.
I mean, there is so much science and so much experience that kids love learning from kids. And if those kids are inspirational, we have found in our research that so many young children lack role models because they do not really identify with the old school male, patriarchal energy that was still the 20th century. 21st century needs a different model, and it needs that kind of more inclusive model, which you could class as the feminine model, right? Not the patriarchal hierarchy, but the kind of peer-to-peer openness circle. Teacher and learner become one, right? We have this beautiful model. Everyone's a student, everyone's a teacher. At any moment in time, we learn and we share, we teach, we learn. You might be wondering, how are we developing leaders, and how do we even define leadership? Because
I would
leadership
love you to discuss that.
Yeah, it's really important because we have a 3-phase plan. Number 1 is building a foundation. The foundation is 4 pillars. The 4 pillars or cornerstones of the foundation is mental health, emotional intelligence, physical well-being, and personal growth, or you can call it spiritual connection. And those 4 is a foundational piece for young people to be able to just self-regulate what happens in their world, to be able to observe where they're coming from, to be more resilient, to be less susceptible to the influences from the outside world. They're bombarded with information, much of it nonsensical or fake or false. How do they know? They do know if they get their intuition intact and online, and they be able to tap into the quantum field and get their wisdom from there, not intellectual knowledge, but wisdom. And that means we can most likely avoid people feeling anxiety, depression, overwhelm. And we know that in young people, young men particularly, the largest cause of death is suicides. So we know that if we can equip them with mental health tools, and there are tools, age-old tools like breathwork, meditation, contemplation, mindfulness, easy stuff. But if they're taught by other kids, we know that the children will be open to learn and adapt that. Peter and I, from the beginning, said our goal would be that young people develop a morning practice, however way they want to construct it. So when they roll out of bed, before they go into the world, there's a way to come back to self, come back to their core, and from that place on make decisions. and speak and think and act. So foundation, four cornerstones. And then
I mean that one piece as well, just to interject there a little bit, that foundation piece as well, through our research, that foundation piece is also the place, if we can get them to connect on that level, that's also the place where they're most likely to reconnect with their genius. And when we talk about genius, we're not talking about replicating lots and lots of people that have got high intellect. What we're talking about is allowing them to connect with their potential. As humans, we have infinite potential, and that's just untapped. So what we're doing is we want to reconnect them so as they can see that potential, so as they can access that wisdom that Daniel was talking about, that not the intellectual wisdom, but just the all-encompassing world knowledge that's available to all of us at any time. And from that point, then we can start to teach them other things that they can step out into the world with. And I think Daniel was about to I
was about to delve into phase two. So
talk about the second step.
Yeah, so the second step, we believe, and this is from our research, we asked people, what do you wish you had learned at school? And we ask even children, what is missing? And all of them point towards the same thing. We're missing the real world skills of financial acumen and entrepreneurial mindset. Doesn't mean everyone has to become a businessman or an entrepreneur, but the idea of growth mindset, of creative thinking, that is some of the next level. So phase two is to develop life skills not taught at school. And our main focus at the beginning is entrepreneurial thinking and financial acumen, personal and business finance. We need to operate still within the system that exists out there. There's no point wishful thinking this away. We need to know how to navigate it. So phase two is that. Phase one, foundation, make sure they're sane, complete, have sovereignty, and move with volition and with power. Then we teach them some of the skills they need to operate in the world. And then phase three is when we want to help them set up social enterprise and tackle the global challenges. In simple terms, we're going to throw them the 17 SDGs and say, come on, you guys have a go at solving them. Because we created them, we can't solve them. A new level of intelligence, a new level of cooperation has to tackle those. So we develop entrepreneurs, leaders, change makers of tomorrow by connecting them with themselves, giving them the skills they need, and then putting them together and collaborate to look at the global challenges. And that is how the system works.
I think it's important to say, when we say, bringing them together, part of our mission is to connect cultures. So through the program, we have a buy one, gift one initiative. That means that for every subscription that's purchased, we gift a subscription to someone from an emerging country. So, and automatically that means that then a child in East London, whose family have just purchased a subscription, so as he can get access to all of this training, he's automatically then paired with someone perhaps in South America who wouldn't have had the opportunity to get access to this. So straight away, they're starting to see each other's cultures, see how these SDGs impact a Latin American country, and also how they're impacting the UK. And with those two different views, if we then add in someone from Nigeria in Africa and someone from Thailand, then we've got 4 different viewpoints about how this particular thing, this particular challenge is impacting the world. With the other 2 phases that Daniel's already talked about, we stand a far better chance of coming up with something different that's going to solve that problem.
Yep. And that was one of the goal of the marathon, to connect all the continent. And especially this year, it's so easy because everybody was forced to Zoom and to be online. Even in a remote community in Bolivia, they were online and they connect other countries, and they connect with Argentina and with Colombia and between the department. And this before, it was not even conceivable here. And now it's not only South America, we can connect with Ethiopia and with China, and everybody wants. They want this connection. They want this peace culture from a local impact to the global. I mean, I don't like this word global. Let's say to the planetary, beautiful view of brotherhood. So it's definitely feasible. I mean, it's really it's not an, how do you say, utopia? Utopia? Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
yeah.
No, it's very real.
Definitely, it's very practical and very needed in 2020.
You say the right thing, Noemi. We wanted to make sure that this is a very practical approach, not some fluffy wishful thinking.
Bravo,
Hippie, let's sing kumbaya around the fireplace. And, you know, this is real, and kids need those skills and they don't learn them at school. No blame on schools and parents to do the best they can. We want to bring those additional skills in. And from our research, it's quite clear what needs to be done next. We have amazing, strong leads on the 4 cornerstones. And we're bringing in more and more teachers. Many of them, by the way, teach for free. They just want to leave a legacy and bring their wisdom to the platform. The platform, Pete mentioned our buy one, gift one. We're charging less than $200 a year, and you get all courses, plus mentoring, plus regular group coaching. And there's actually a free-level membership where you still get a lot of the education. We want to make sure no one's excluded. But if you want mentorship, then yes, there is a small fee. And we also know people spend a small fee, they take it more seriously, the engagement's higher, they're getting more out of it. But also what is key is that your membership immediately is donated to 3 major charities around the world. That means every kid by joining Sarva already has global impact. We're supporting charity water in Africa by building wells. Sarva wells, we're leaving a legacy. We're in part of a reforestation program in Colombia. That means we're building food forests, feeding families, Sarva forests. And we're also in Asia. We're in the north of India, giving education and supporting online education for the untouchables, the lowest caste in India. That means you purchase a membership, immediately you have global impact. You're supporting 3 amazing charities in education, reforestation, and water. And a free membership is given as well. So it's immediately a feel-good factor, and it's real tangible impact. So we're really excited about launching now.
Me too.
The whole of 2020, we're in beta. People can join for free. Go to sarva.net and just
Sarva.net. We just entered.
Sarva.net,
so please write down. We still have papers and pencil here.
Yes,
write down Sarva.net, and we help everybody for this new everything is because it's a full vision: geopolitics, ecology, education, because it goes together. And new leadership.
Yes,
absolutely.
The one we need. The one is vision and solidarity and human from the heart.
As Daniel said before, you know, this isn't about just creating a whole raft of entrepreneurs. This is about creating leaders. Not everyone has to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone has to go out and build their own companies or create change, be an activist. But if we develop them in this way, then they find a place, and we're developing talent essentially. Talent that can change the world, talent that the employers around the world are looking for. That they want in order to move them into the next generations, to continue to develop, to continue to innovate. That only comes with different thinking. And the current education system is just not developing children in the way that our companies need them to be developed. And so that's where we see this.
And not just companies, but communities and families, right? And when we talk about leadership, and Peter and I made it very clear in some of our philosophy, leading your own life requires courage. Following your heart requires leadership, self-leadership. Leading your family,
self-leadership. I love this word.
This is not about I need to lead a company, but we're looking at leadership as how do you have the courage to follow your heart, self-leadership, family leadership, community leadership. And yes, of course, sustainable businesses, social enterprise will need people who got the guts to go out there and do the uncomfortable, to do new things. And Peter and I, we see ourselves, the older generation, we sometimes say we're creating a safe playground. We're creating boundaries and rules around the playground. Then we invite the kids in and we say, now go and play. Do whatever you need to do. We support you. This is where the mentor support comes in and the assistance. We cannot tell them what they need to do because they're a new generation with a different consciousness. But we for damn sure can make sure that we create a space for them to thrive, to grow, to develop, to collaborate, And we believe, and we're looking forward to seeing the magic that will come out of this, because this is what people are looking for, right? Kids want to creatively play and learn, you know, this is it. My God, I'm so excited.
Me too. Yeah, definitely. What will be your message to all the children of the world? Who wants to start?
Wow, that's not been asked that one before. Yeah, I mean, I guess the message to the children of the world, I think the message is not one just to the children of the world. This comes back to our philosophy. You know, education is not just something we can leave to schools and to parents anymore. This is all of our responsibility. It's the responsibility of you. It's my responsibility, Daniel's responsibility. It's the kids' responsibility. They have to be responsible and self-sovereign. But it's also, you know, the responsibility of society, of employers. Everyone has to come together in order to realize that this is what's needed in order to support this. This is one of the reasons why, you know, we're attacking this on so many fronts. You know, we're working with universities, we're working with schools, we're working with corporate companies, we're working with, you know, parents, because we need to bring everyone together. So, you know, if whether you fit into one of those groups, whether you're a child, whatever like demographic you fit into right now, if you recognize that there is change needed, if you feel that, you know, your education is not taking you to the places that you want it to, if you feel that, you know, you're not receiving the applications, you know, for jobs in your company that you deserve, then support us. Send people to Sarva. Let's experience that and let's share this. This is a collaborative effort. This isn't just me and Daniel. You know, we want to bring people together. We want to collaborate, and we want to make a significant change, not just in education, but through the impact that we can have. The more people that come on board, the more we impact the 3 amazing charities that we work with, and the more people in emerging countries that also get access to this education. So not only are we supporting the West, but we're supporting globally. We're supporting humanity, I think. Yes. is the all-encompassing point here. This is for us as a race, and you know, for us to find solutions to protect this planet for the next generation.
Mm-hmm. And Danielle?
Yeah, I had more time to think about it, which was great. So I think my message for the kids would be to believe in yourself, to believe you have a gift, you have a purpose, you have a genius, and trust your intuition, trust your gut, trust what wants to come forth, and find a peer group that believes in you. Find people around you that support you. And I do strongly, deeply feel with every fiber of my being that there is a tremendous positive change about to happen, and it needed to break the old to create the new. And it has to come from the next generation. You know, we need to step out of the way, the old guys, you know, and just literally protect whatever is here and support them to build it. So for the kids, I would say, trust that you got this. You will be called to step into this, and there is a positive movement ahead. And we're here to support you. We believe in you. And yeah, go for it. Go for it. You are precious, and you're gifted, and you're connected to so much wisdom, you know, and it's here for the taking.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for this great, I mean, you gave such a vision to the marathon, and I'm sure all the countries and all the parents and teachers are listening very carefully. And 2 keywords. I love the self-leader or self-leadership. We were looking for a word for a long time. I love this one. Mm-hmm. And this is a keyword. And the other keyword you said is consciousness. And with this, we can bring, it's a frequency, we can bring it, and it will sustain the actions, not reverse. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for inviting us. It's such a pleasure to be able to share the message with the world. And, you know, let's keep doing this role. You're doing a great job, and thank you for doing this marathon and inviting.
No, thank you. It's all together.
Yes.
And remember, sarva.net, sarva.net.
Sarva.net.
Let's go right now. Let's log in right now. You take care, guys.
Thanks so much,
Thank you
Naomi.
so much.
Bye bye, Noemi.
And
Take
I'm
care.
sure you will connect and we will have much
We will
more.
connect.
We will
Exactly.
for sure.
Definitely.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.